All right, hi.
Hi.
So you're here today because you have a fear issue that has been giving you a problem, correct?
Yes.
So we're going to use EFT, which is Emotional Freedom Technique, to help you take that fear problem that you're having from the level that it currently is, and we're going to bring it down to a lower level, and hopefully it'll even be gone by the time we get done doing this.
Great.
So, do you know about Emotional Freedom Technique?
No.
So it's tapping, and it's loosely based on the principles of acupuncture. So you're hitting points along the meridian to get the energy flowing better through the body.
Okay.
So the thought, in a nutshell, the thought behind it is that energy disturbances in the body create negative emotions or even pain that we have in the body. So when you can break those up, and tapping uses the hitting the points with some force to break up the blocks, but then combining that with positive affirmations, you can get the body better in balance. And the great thing about it is that you can do it, it's like 5 minutes or less. It's really quick.
Okay.
So this is just going to take a little bit because I'm going to explain it all to you.
Okay.
So we're going to start with identifying the issue, which we did. You have a fear. And then we're going to rate the issue. So if 10 is the worst and 0 is non-existent, what's your rating?
I'd say it's at an 8.
Okay, so your fear is currently at an 8. And then we're going to do, there is a setup, and then there's a sequence, and then there's suggestions. So I'm just going to explain it first, and then we'll go through and do it. So the setup is you're going to take your dominant hand, and you will use these 2 fingers, and your other hand is going to be, it's called like karate chop position.
Okay.
So we're going to be hitting into the side of the hand when we say when we do our setup.
Okay.
So the point of how much pressure to use, if you do it real lightly, you're not going to break anything up.
Okay.
I mean, it's a problem, it's a block, it's creating creating a negative emotion for you, and even, I think you did say you had some pressure or discomfort around your eye.
Right in here.
So if you're going to have to do put some force behind it to break that up.
Okay.
You don't want to do it so hard because you're going to be tapping around your eye. You don't want to cause pain,
Okay.
but you want to break it up. So that's the first thing. And when we do the setup, we're going to say this phrase 3 times. Even though I have this fear,
Okay.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Okay.
So you're always going to say, even though I have this, and then what your issue is,
Okay.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Okay.
We're going to do that 3 times, and then we're going to do the tapping. So you're just going to follow me, but right now I'm going to explain where all the points are. So I'll just start by saying you can't do it wrong. There's no way.
Okay.
It's always good when you hear you can't do it wrong.
Good.
So so you don't have to get really caught up in what if I'm not on the right point, or what if I don't do it enough times. There's a flow to it, and the more you do it and practice it, you'll just get in the flow. You'll know what the points are. You'll know how just the flow of tapping. You really can't screw it up. So it also doesn't matter if you use 1 hand or 2.
Okay.
I like to use 2 just because I feel balanced. But if you want to just use 1 hand, you're not going to get more benefit by using 2 hands than you would with 1.
Okay.
Sometimes if you're really doing a lot of tapping and you're going through, and you might get tired with 1 hand and then want to switch to your other hand. So that's fine too.
Okay.
So the first point is going to be like right kind of inside your eyebrows. Maybe like at the top of your nose. Maybe, yeah, right there.
Okay.
So inside the eyebrows. Then we're going to do on the outside of the eye. Yep, right on the side. And then the next point is going to be under the eye. Yep, good. And then the next point is between the upper lip and the nose. Yep. And then between the chin and the bottom lip. Good. And then under, like wherever your collarbone is, go right under that. Yep. And then you're gonna go on your side, so you're gonna use all of your fingers because it's a bigger point, and it would be like if you're a female where your bra strap is, so right under your armpit.
Okay.
And then the last point, you're gonna use your hands kind of like a claw shape and like on the top of your head, maybe towards the back a little bit. Yep, I kind of move them sometimes, the top to the back.
Okay.
So those are gonna be our tapping points. And as we go through the 3 rounds of taps, we're gonna do 7 to 9 taps each time. If you do more, again, it's not a big deal. You don't count them because you wanna stay in the flow, and you always wanna be focused on what your problem is.
Okay.
So, I know that sounds negative, like, why am I focusing on the problem? But that's where the block is. So you're gonna bring your attention to and stay focused on what is this thing that's giving me a problem.
Okay.
So, if you wanna just keep it simple, you could just name it the whole time we go through, like this fear, this fear, this fear. But you could also, if you really get into the flow of it, just start whatever comes up for you. Again, you can't do it wrong.
Okay.
So if you want to say things like, this fear keeps me awake at night. This fear impacts my breathing. This fear causes pain in my eye. If you wanted to throw things like that in there, you could do that too. But really, all we want to do is name the problem each time and stay focused on that.
Okay.
And then at the end, we're going to check in after we do those 3 rounds. What's our number? And then we will follow up with the last round, which will be positive suggestions that you're going to, after we clear the block, then we're kind of going to lock it in. I say lock it in. I don't know if that's the right term, but we're going to follow up with positive affirmations that you have shifted your emotional state or your physical state, and now things are better. So we just want to end on a positive note.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
Yes.
So we're going to start with our karate chop, and you're starting at a level 8. So we're going to say, even though I have this fear, I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though I have this fear, I deeply and completely accept myself.
Good. Even though I have this fear, I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though I have this fear, I deeply and completely accept myself.
Yep. And even though I have this fear, I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though I have this fear, I deeply and completely accept myself.
Good. And then we'll go into our taps. This fear
This fear.
around your eye, this fear that I have on the outside, this fear I have,
This fear I have.
this fear,
This fear.
this fear keeps me awake at night.
This fear keeps me awake at night.
This fear, I don't want it.
This fear, I don't want it.
This fear, I don't need it.
This fear, I don't need it.
This fear, it's time to let it go.
This fear, is time to let it go.
This fear,
This fear.
and then back to your eyes, this fear.
This fear.
This fear I have,
This fear I have.
this fear I have
This fear
makes
I
me
have.
afraid I won't be able to pay my bills.
Makes me afraid I won't be able to pay my bills.
This fear keeps me awake at night.
This fear keeps me awake at night.
And then your chin. This fear causes pain near my eye.
This fear causes pain near my eye.
This fear, I don't want it.
This fear, I don't want it.
This fear, I don't need it.
This fear, I don't need it.
And this fear, it's time for it to go.
This fear, it's time for it to go.
Okay, then one more round. This fear,
This fear.
outside of your eye. This fear I have,
This fear I have.
under your eye. This fear,
This fear.
I don't want it.
I don't want it.
I don't need this fear.
I don't need this fear.
And then under your collarbones, it's time to let this fear go.
It's time to let this fear go.
Under your arm, this fear,
This fear.
and the top of your head. It's time to let this fear go.
It's time to let this fear go.
Okay, now just take a deep breath in. And then check in, and what's the level now?
I definitely feel it gone down. It feels like a 5.
Great. So you went from an 8 to a 5. Does that, so for each person that does this, right, everybody's numbers are going to be personal to them. So how you perceive a 5 could be nothing. For some people, a 5 could still be strong. So you have to really kind of check in with yourself. Is fear good? Fear's not good. Is
No.
5 good?
No. 5 is not causing me to focus on it. It
Good.
feels, it's dissipated and diminished. It feels good.
Would you want to stop now or go through it again?
I could go on with a task. Like I could go on with something I needed to do. So I wouldn't have to do it again. I could
Perfect.
do it again.
Okay. So perfect. So like I like what you just said. I could now go on with a task.
Yes.
Whereas before when you started this,
I felt paralyzed almost.
yeah,
Like so anxious that I could focus on nothing else.
perfect. So that was quick and easy. So now we're gonna just follow up with positive affirmations,
Okay.
and we're gonna do it one more time, only one, and then it could really be anything. I'm just gonna go with whatever comes up.
Okay. The tapping again? Okay.
Yep. So we'll do one more time. I am calm,
I am calm.
and then outside of your eye, I'm relaxed.
I am relaxed.
Under your eye, I'm in control.
I am in control.
I release fear.
I release fear.
I feel good.
I feel good.
I'm calm and settled.
I'm calm and settled.
I breathe easier now.
I breathe easier now.
And I know that all my needs are met.
And I know that all of my needs are met.
Great. And then take a deep breath in. And then exhale out.
I notice it's so funny, the energy. I feel like everything is just, instead of it being all focused and like concentrated, it feels like, you know what I mean? I don't know how to describe that, like spread out and dissipated and like flowing.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So the tapping did what you needed it to do. So again, it's a quick and easy way to break up a block and to get yourself relief from something that's kind of like gripping you.
Yes.
So it will work for a negative emotion like a fear or a worry or something that's really got you where you feel like, oh, like I can't think about anything else. I'm only focused on this. It will also work for a minor pain in the body, like you did have discomfort and pain there. So you could use it for that as well. And it's just a great tool to have because let's say you're at work and you're stressed, or maybe you're at a family dinner and like, you know, like tensions start to rise and like, you don't want to feel like that. Who does? So you can just go into another room, go into the bathroom, excuse yourself, and 5 minutes and then just breathe and you can come back to that same situation, but you can be in a different space. And that's always a great tool to be able to have.
Yeah, that's really helpful. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Thanks.